Hello there, my name's Tracy May. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you've come from my blog, bedlamandbutterflies.blogspot.co.uk, you will know that on the Pinkies blog hop on Saturday, I actually showcased this DVD envelope. Now this is something I've made for my sons to give to my husband for his birthday at the end of this month. And I've used the Retro Fresh Designer Series paper. My husband's a bit of a 70s buff, so there's the DVD. Don't worry, he's not going to be watching this video, so he's not going to see what he's got for his present. But I thought it might be quite helpful if I did a little tutorial on how I made the actual DVD holder using the envelope punch board. It's very, very simple. Now, I'm going to use a different Designer Series paper this time. Again, it's from the Spring Summer catalogue. This one's called Watercolour Wonder Designer Series paper, I think. Oops, I've kind of forgotten the name of that. And as my DVD, instead of that, I'm going to wrap one of these Stampin' Up! Clear stamp sets. Again, this one's from the Spring Summer catalogue called Just Saying, and I love it, so I might not actually give it away. Shh, don't tell anybody. Right, my envelope punch board. For those of you who are familiar with this is such a fantastic tool. I love it. I've made boxes, envelopes, all sorts of things with it. And so today I shall show you how to make the lovely DVD holder. Now I'm starting with a piece of cardstock which is 10 3/4 inches square, so 10 3/4 that way, 10 3/4 that way. That in metric is 27.3 centimetres by 27.3 centimetres. And it doesn't matter which side you start on as it's square, so I'm going to just pop it in. Now I'm lining up to 4 1/4 inches for my first measurement, and that's 10.8 centimetres. I'm going to punch down, take my stylus and score along. Now don't go all the way to the edge because you'll be coming, oops, having said that, that's exactly what I've just done, but you'll be coming back round the other way, so those lines will meet up. I'm going to slide that along to 5 inches, which is 12.2 centimetres. I'm going to punch down again. And again, don't go all the way to the edge, you're going to meet up. I'm now going to rotate this by 180 degrees. And again, using the same measurements, 4 1/4, 10.8 centimetres. And then 5 inches, 12.2 centimetres. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over to the other side. This side's a bit harder to see because of the zigzag pattern, but I am actually going to use the same measurements and those lines will meet up, trust me. That's 4 1/4 there, that's met there, and 5. I'll put all the measurements up on the blog post as well, so you don't have to worry about writing those down if you haven't. Now again, we're going to rotate that 180 degrees. Do 4 1/4. And then 5. And there, I've got both sides done. I think you can see better on this. And if I just reinforce those, don't need to be too strong with those at the moment, just so you can see. And on the other side. And so we've got the start of our envelope. Now, all I need to do now is to do the end flaps, and to do that, I'm simply going to use these score lines I've got already and line them up with the score guide here. And I'm going to score all the way along there and then slide it along to the next one and score all along there, and you should see that those lines have met all the way across. I'm going to rotate that and do the same again. Score all the way along. Now I'm going to round my corners, so I'm just going to press that down and punch. I don't know if you can see that. So all you need to do is put the sharp end into this side of the envelope punch board and punch down. Hope my arms aren't getting in the way. Let me try and move them. There we go. Okay, and that is it now for the envelope punch board. Now what I want to do is just reinforce the end folds. And then you'll see there's a little bit of excess. Now I want to keep those on, so I want to actually cut down here so they just fold in there. Now I want them to go in that way because I'm going to have the opening from that side. So let me just remember again. So I'll move that. I keep doing this wrong. There we go, just snip that away. I always do a little bit extra just so that it doesn't get caught on the edges. So I'm using the score line. It's really hard to see on this side of the paper, so why don't I flip it over and then you'll see there. And again on the same side, just snip up. This is my first video, so I'm hoping that it's staying in focus. Time will tell. Now, I'm just going to pop this in here. That's a bit of a plonk, and fold these up. I want to just secure this. You don't have to, because we're going to put a belly band on to decorate it. But I would quite like to secure it, so I'm going to get my, oops, she says, where I had everything out neat and tidy and ready, and there they are. I'm using these little glue dots, and I'm just going to use my little paper snips. I love these things, they're so useful. And I'm going to, I want this snug, a snug fit, so I'm going to hold it down there and then just gently lift up there and pop a glue dot there. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So if you just see, I'm just lifting the glue dot off with the paper snips, holding this in place and sliding it in and sticking it onto the cardstock and then sticking that down. And there you have it. There's the, whoops, getting out of shot there. There's the envelope for the DVD, and that just simply folds over there. Now if you wanted, you could put another glue dot on there to secure it. I'm not going to. I'm just going to use a belly band. Now, unfortunately, the DSP doesn't quite fit. Now I've cut this. This is 12 inches long by 2.5 inches wide, and it doesn't quite fit all the way around, but not to worry, there's a little trick I can show you. I'm just going to, let me bring this into shot, I'm just going to fold this over by hand to start with. And there you can see it just meets at the back. So I've got a little sliver of Daffodil Delight, which I'm going to stick in. Now, depending on what you want to do, you could hide this seam at the back. I'm not going to, or you could hide it under embellishments and decoration. I'm not really going to bother with that because it's at the back and it's going to be very neat, as you will see in a second. And again, this belly band is from the watercolour DSP. I'll have all the details of all the products on the blog post, and if I learn how to do it on YouTube as well, I'll put it under the post on YouTube. There we go. And then I'll just hold that down for a second. You can see that makes quite a neat little seam there. You could hide that with some embellishments. I'm going to decorate the front. And I've pre-made some embellishments using the Blossom and Pansy punch. I punched out some flowers out of Tangerine, Tango and Daffodil Delight and sponged the edges, and then I popped a little Brights button on with some twine, and I'm simply going to stick that down with Tombow onto my belly band, and because that looks a little bit lonely, I have cut out some butterflies. I love butterflies. Obviously, as you'll realise from my blog being called Bedlam and Butterflies, Bedlam for my two little sons. They're called Bedlam and Chaos wherever they go. They're just balls of complete energy. Anyway, there we go. And there we have it. One little stamp set in this case, all nicely packaged up, and I think that's really pretty, and I would be made up if somebody gave me something wrapped so beautifully like that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please visit my blog, bedlamandbutterflies.blogspot.co.uk. I come up with projects a few times a week, so check back in. Hope to see you soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.